Another strategy that you can use in using the same techniques and strategies that we teach you at Owner Finance Academy is targeting high-priced homes. Now, personally, I specialize in first and second home buyers. So in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, I specialize in selling any from $80,000 to about $300,000, maybe $400,000 houses. I don't sell or buy many million-dollar houses. Every once in a while, I'll get one of those fall in my lap. However, I don't want to take the personal risk of having to pay a $5,000 or $6,000 mortgage a month if my buyer doesn't pay me. So here's how we structure the deal. I will go to the seller and I will tell them I'm willing to buy your house and I'm willing to help you find a buyer who will make all the payments for you. I put the house under contract to buy the house for what he owes. Then I will go out and find a buyer. And I will assign the contract that I have with my seller to the buyer, plus a wrap note that includes all the profit. I may buy a house for $1.5 million. I may sell it for $2 million. For my $1.5 million mortgage I'm paying the lender, my payment may be $4,500 a month. The payment I'm collecting from my buyer might be $6,500 a month. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm actually going to sell the house from the seller directly to the buyer, where the buyer signs a note that wraps around the underlying mortgage and pays the seller $6,500 a month. Now the seller at the time of closing is going to assign that note and that deed of trust to me. And what that means is that the buyer will pay me $6,500 every month. I will turn around and I will pay the note off for the seller at $4,500 a month, and I keep the $2,000 a month profit. Now I'm very clear with my buyer that I don't want to carry the risk on this deal. So I'm going to tell my buyer I will keep a payment or two payments kind of in escrow in a bank account. If, however, my buyer doesn't pay the mortgage for longer than that I reserve the right to come back to the seller and ask them to pay their mortgage. So I'm not willing to carry all of the risk on the deal if it takes me 6 months to get the buyer out. So if that happens, I'm going to come back to the seller and say, hey, I need your help to pay the mortgage. And they're going to pay it until I can find a new buyer, in which I will then try to reimburse them. That's one way to work in a high-level, high-priced homes where you're not having to take all of the risk.